Good day, pupils. You're welcome to class once again. As you can see on the board, the subject is mathematics, and the topic is finding length or breadth of a square or rectangle when perimeter is given. Finding length or breadth of a square or rectangle when perimeter is given. This is a continuation of our previous class. Remember our previous class, we talked about how to find perimeter of some shapes like rectangle, square, and triangle. Today we'll be talking on how to find length or breadth of a square or rectangle when the perimeter is given. We'll start with how to find length or breadth of a rectangle when the perimeter of that rectangle is given. So if you want to find the length or a breadth of a rectangle when the perimeter is given, you can see the formula below. To find the length of a rectangle when the perimeter of that rectangle is given, you use this formula. Length is equals to the perimeter of that rectangle minus 2b. Remember, your b means your breadth. You divide all through by what? 2. So I repeat, to find the length of a rectangle, you use this formula. Length is equals to perimeter of that rectangle minus 2b, that's 2 times your breadth, divide by what? 2. And to find the breadth of a rectangle when the perimeter of that rectangle is given, you use this formula. Breadth of that rectangle, that's you're finding the breadth of the rectangle now, that will be equals to perimeter of that rectangle minus 2l. Your l means what? Length. Breadth is equals to perimeter of that rectangle minus 2l divided through by what? 2. Now if you look at these two formula, you can see that there's a slight difference here. Here is what? B. That's your breadth. When you're finding length, you use 2b minus 2b divided by 2. And when you're finding breadth, you use minus 2l, which is your length, divided through by what? 2. Now we'll move to the next one, which is how to find length of a square when the perimeter of that square is given. Now you're finding the length of a square. That means the length is not given, but the perimeter of that square is given. You use this formula. Length is equals to perimeter of a square over what? 4. You're finding the length. You see, length is equals to perimeter of a square divided by what? 4. Now we'll run through some examples here that will make us to understand how to solve a length or a breadth of a rectangle or a square when the perimeter is given. Now the first example here says, find the length of a square. Remember, this is a square. Find the length of a square whose perimeter is 20 centimeters. Now you can see from this question, you are finding the length of a square. And you can see that the perimeter of that square is given, which is what? 20 centimeters. Now from your formula, I told you that when you are finding the length of a square, when your perimeter is given, you use this formula. Say solution. Your formula is what? The length. Maybe you are finding the length of that square is equals to what? Perimeter of that square. That's the value of your perimeter of a square. You divide all through by what? 4. Now from this question, what are your given value? The perimeter of a square, what's the value? And that's what? Perimeter of a square, the value is what? 20 centimeters. So you just substitute 20 centimeters here. That will be what? Length is equals to what? What's the value of our perimeter of a square? That's what? 20. You divide it by what? 4. And we all know that 20 divided by 4 will give us what? 5 centimeters. Remember to put your unit. So the length of this square now is what? 5 centimeters. And in case you want to confirm it, remember on how to find the perimeter of a square, that will be 4L. Just multiply 4 times 5 will give you what? 20 centimeters. 2. Find the breadth of a rectangle whose length and perimeter are 15 centimeters and 40 centimeters respectively. I read it again. Find the breadth of a rectangle whose length and perimeter are 15 centimeter and 40 centimeter respectively. Now, in this question, we are to find the breadth of a rectangle. And you can see from the question, the value of our length and the value of our perimeter, the perimeter of that rectangle are given. So, we start by writing our solution. Now, the first thing is to write out our given value. Now, from this question, length and perimeter are what? 15 and 40 centimeter respectively. Now, what's the value of your length? You can see length comes first before your perimeter. Definitely, the value of your length will be 15 centimeter. You see, length is equals to 15 centimeter. And what's the value of our perimeter of the rectangle? The perimeter of that rectangle, perimeter is equals to what? 40 centimeter. And we are finding the breadth of that rectangle. What's the value of our breadth? We don't know. Now, I told you the formula for finding the breadth of a rectangle when the perimeter of that rectangle is given. Remember, I told you to find that you use breadth is equals to your perimeter minus 2 times L, or you write 2L. 2L means 2 times L divided through by what? 2. Now we're going to substitute our value. What's the value for the perimeter of that rectangle? The value is what? 40 centimeter. That will be what? 40 centimeter minus. What's the value of our length? The value of our length is what? 15. Now remember, I told you that there is a bond in between 2 and L, and that bond is what? Multiplication. So that will be what? 2 times what? 15. The value of our L is what? 15. I will divide all through by what? 2. So that will be what? 40 minus 2 times 15 will give us what? 30. Divide all through by what? 2. Now 40 minus 30 will give us what? 10 over 2. Now 40 minus 30 will give us what? 10. Now we now divide 10 by what? 2. 10 divided by 2 will give us what? 5. When you divide it, that will give you what? 5 centimeter. Therefore, the breadth of that rectangle is equals to what? 5 centimeter. Now move to the next example, which is example 3. Now in this case, we are finding the length of a rectangle when we have the breadth of that rectangle and the perimeter of that rectangle. Let me read it. Find the length of a rectangle whose breadth is 5 centimeter. This is the value of the breadth. And the perimeter of that rectangle is what? 30 centimeter. Let me write my solution. And let me write my given value. Now we are finding the length and the breadth of that rectangle is what? What's the value? Breadth is equals to what? 5 centimeter. And the perimeter of that shape, which is the rectangle, is what? Perimeter. What's the value? The value is what? 30 centimeter. Remember, we are finding the length of that rectangle. So we don't know the value of the length. And that's what? Question mark, because we don't know the value of our length. Now, our formula now, which is equals to what? Length is equals to perimeter minus 2b over 2. I told you when you are finding length, just use minus 2b divided through by 2. And when you are finding breadth, minus 2l divided through by what? 2. Now, the value of the perimeter of that rectangle is what? The value is what? 30 minus 2 times, I told you the bond between these is what? Multiplication. 2 times what? The value of our breadth, that's what? 5. Divided through by what? 2. That will give us what? 30 minus 2 times 5 will give us what? 10. Divided through by what? 2. You follow the steps. 30 minus 10 will give us what? 20. Divided by what? 2. Now here you can now divide it. 20 divided by what? 2. You can say 2 divided by 2. That will be what? 1. 0 divided by 2. That will be what? 0. So therefore our answer is what? 10. You now say therefore the length of that rectangle is equals to what? 10 centimeter. On this note, we'll bring the class to an end. In case you miss out on any explanation, you take it back and catch up with that explanation. See you some other time. Bye for now.